Hi, in the following short videos, we're going to show you the items you need and the procedures you need to take to disinfect your drinking water well if it was impacted by the recent flooding events. All of these items can easily be found at a local hardware store or big box chain. A lot of these items may already be in your house. You will need a 5-gallon bucket. This is for mixing and pouring the chlorine bleach into the well. You will need a funnel that we will use to get the bleach into the wellhead. You need standard bleach. You do not want to use scented or the no splash formulas. You are looking for the 5 1/4 or higher concentration of chlorine. You may need a standard garden hose. You will need a washer hose off a domestic washing machine, a clean towel. You might need a small cup and some isopropyl alcohol. Once you have all the materials and items you'll need to disinfect your well, you need to go to the wellhead. A large number of wellheads are protected by a concrete tile such as this. Please keep in mind that this concrete lid can be heavy. You also need to keep in mind that you may find a number of animals and insects such as mice, snakes, ants, and even wasps, bees, and hornets that have taken up residence. So you want to carefully remove the lid, step back in case anything were to come out. Strongly recommend wearing a good pair of gloves if you have a concrete tile. Other wells may be covered with the plastic decorative rocks or other types of landscaping. Just be careful when you go into the wellhead so that you're not walking into any kind of unseen hazard. So once you have good clear access to your wellhead, this is probably what you're going to see. This is the well casing. This black round circular plug is called the sanitary seal. It's what normally keeps contaminants from getting down into your well. This is a vent. This is a threadless sample tap. Now, if your well was constructed prior to 2008, you probably will not have one of these. Just about all wells have a threaded hose bib, which we will be using as part of the disinfection process. With respect to the vent, this needs to be carefully removed. It just simply unscrews so that we can get access through the sanitary seal into the well. This is where we're going to introduce the chlorine bleach and then circulate the well water back into itself to disinfect the entire column. Please note, some older wells may not have a vent. They may have a black or blue or even red plastic plug. If your well does not have a vent, look for this plug and carefully remove it from the well sanitary seal. On the wellhead, you hopefully will find a metal tag that has been affixed to the casing or somewhere on the wellhead. This provides you information as to the depth of your well, static water level. If you can find the depth of your well, we can provide data sheets that will allow us to easily calculate the specific amount of bleach we will need to disinfect your well. If you do not have this information on your well, reach out to your health department directly and we will provide further guidance. Once we know the depth of your well, or if you do not, you've talked with the local health department to get guidance, we want to mix the appropriate amount of bleach in your 5-gallon bucket. You're looking to get roughly 48 ounces of bleach per 100 gallons of well water. Simply pour the bleach into the bucket, then add water and fill the bucket up. Now that we have our chlorine solution mixed, we are ready to introduce it into your well. Carefully remove the well vent or plug, if you have a plug, and set this off to the side. Take your funnel, place this down into the hole where the vent came out of. It is helpful if you have several people to help you, as you may need to hold the funnel while you pour the chlorine solution. Next, you will carefully and slowly introduce the chlorine solution through the funnel into your well. You want to get as much of that water into the well as possible, and here's where an extra set of hands can help to ensure that happens. Once the chlorine has been introduced into the well, we will take our washer machine hose and cut one end off. The other end we will attach to the hose bib, which is at your wellhead. If your well does not have a threaded hose bib, then you can run any standard garden hose from a hydrant or house faucet to your well, connect it onto the washer line hose, and you're ready to go. We will then insert the cut end down into the hole where the vent was. Next, we will turn on the tap, and effectively we will be circulating chlorine up and down the well column. The pump is typically set 20 feet off the bottom of the well, so this will draw the chlorine down the column of water, get the entire well sanitized. We recommend that you let this run, circulate for a minimum of 45 minutes. This will ensure that the free chlorine you have introduced is circulated throughout the entire column of water. After you have circulated the water, you will then remove the hose, put the vent back on, and you will want to let this sit for a minimum of 24 hours. 200 parts per million shot chlorine at 24 hours should be enough contact time for the chlorine to disinfect any organics, bacteria, viruses that have been introduced into your well because of the flooding. It is critical that you let that contact time occur. You also need to keep in mind that if there's any chance that contaminated water has been introduced into your house, business, or facility, we want to chlorinate the entire system. So once you circulate the chlorine throughout the well for 45 minutes or more, you then would want to go into your house and open all water using taps. Hand sinks, kitchen sinks, yard hydrants, hot water heater, shower heads, and toilets. You want to be able to smell chlorine at every point of use where water from your well goes throughout your water system. It would be good to turn off your ice makers for your refrigerators, as you can disinfect those later. After the chlorinated water has sat in the well and in the water system for a minimum of 24 hours, you then need to start purging the well and the water system of the chlorine. It's best to start at the well. You can attach any standard garden hose at the well. You want to take this water and run it out into the woods down your driveway. You do not want to let this go onto or settle over your septic drain field if you have one. Then you merely turn on the tap and let the water run. You probably want to let your well pump rest every 30 to 45 minutes depending on the volume of water your well produces. Here again, that can be found on your well construction tag if you have that. And this way, if you should have a low producing well, you are not going to take a chance on lowering the water column to the pump and potentially burning it out. Please keep in mind that it can take some time, several hours to several days, to effectively run the chlorine out of the well. Periodically, you can go and smell the water coming out of your hose. When you no longer smell chlorine, you're getting close. AppHealth will be providing DPD chlorine test tablets with your water sample kit. When you no longer smell chlorine coming out of your wellhead, you can use these tablets to ensure that the chlorine is gone. Once the wellhead is free of chlorine, you then want to drain the water out of your residence, facility, or other buildings that are connected to your well. We recommend using an outside tap first. You can connect your garden hose, run that water away from your septic drain field, preferably out into the woods or down your driveway. Once you have flushed as much as of the house from the lowest fixture you have, you can then work through each fixture and slowly drain that water off by flushing it. You want to avoid large amounts of chlorinated water going to your septic system. But the reality is, once you flush the well and your house from an outside tap, the amount going in from the other fixtures should not impact your septic.
Once your system is drained of chlorine, you are ready to take a sample from the wellhead. Contact your local health department with any questions.